Andrea Kane, and I am here to talk about medical terminology, HSC 114. This is a study guide, a chapter study guide to help you through how do you study for this class. Well, we're going to talk about why study, how to study, and then summarize from there. Why should you study for HSC 114, which is medical terminology? Well, the sheer volume of material that we cover every week will be challenging to assimilate. Those of you that are in an 8-week course, usually over the summer, will be incredibly pressed to keep up. Those in the 16-week course, which is typically spring and fall semesters, will have to juggle learning between multiple classes. So even though you get a longer period of time, you're juggling more classes. This is a foundational course for anyone who wants to go into a healthcare professional field. If you master this knowledge, you will be able to speak, spell, and understand the foreign language used by healthcare professionals everywhere. Failure to study will show on your weekly quizzes, your final exam, and your final grade. It will also follow you as you progress in your studies because it will increase the work you have to put into future courses as you strive to catch up. And also, education is expensive in terms of time and money. So please take full advantage of this opportunity to learn so you can progress in your chosen field. Step 1, read your textbook. Make sure that you get your textbook, you read it, especially the preface. Step 2, watch the chapter overview videos for each chapter that I'll be posting. Step 3, follow the study guide on page 6 in your textbook for each chapter. Step 4, complete the weekly assignments in Brightspace. Step 5, review any areas of weakness before you take your weekly quiz or quizzes. Step 6, take advantage of the Evolve website activities. And Step 7, complete the weekly quizzes. So let's break each one of these steps down a little bit and take a look at what's included. Read your textbook. I am a great believer in using highlighters and writing down clarifying notes, whether that's on paper or in your book or keeping notes electronically. Make sure you write down the terms that you want to make into flashcards. Keep a list of those and make sure you make those into flashcards. A lot of my former students have said that Quizlet, Quizlet, Quizlet was a great app for flashcards and for studying, that they found it very helpful. Note any unfamiliar diagnoses or procedures that are mentioned in the particular chapter so that you can research them on the internet. If you find yourself skimming the pages, stop and read aloud. Sometimes when we stop and we read things aloud, it slows us down and we get that information. It goes into us and stays a little bit deeper because you're doing two different learning methods at that point. You're not only visually looking at the information, but you're auditory, you're converting it into sound. If you like to move as you study, read standing up, do a dance or stretch after each paragraph or page, that type of thing. Whatever helps you study, use it. If it's music in the background, if it's quiet, whatever works for you, use it to your advantage. Have someone read to you as you take notes. That is one way that you could do that. And break down your reading sessions into 15 to 20-minute segments rather than try and read the whole thing in 1 or 2 stretches. Take breaks. It'll keep your mind moving and you won't feel so overwhelmed. Watch the chapter overview videos that I do. The purpose of the chapter overview video is to review your learning objectives, clarify concepts, draw your attention to the things that you may overlook when you read, pronounce terms correctly, or at least my eclectic version of correct. I'm not saying my version is perfect every time, but I'll try and at least give you the one that has worked for me. Encourage you in your studies and build our relationship since we don't see each other in person or we don't Zoom. These are optional to watch, but I hope you will benefit from them. Follow the study guide. Page 6 is really useful for all chapters. It encourages you to break terms down and review the meaning of each part. Do the exercises that are in the textbook and then check your answers. You got the answers. You want to practice your pronunciation. If you're not sure, you can go to the Evolve website and they have audio pronunciations, but make sure you practice that because you need to be able to speak this language, not just write it and know it. Do the review sheets in the textbook and check your answers. Make flashcards and practice with them. Again, if you don't want to do that on paper or using index cards, try Quizlet, Quizlet. And then visit the Evolve website for additional exercises, games, and images. So how do you break terms down? What does it mean? Back to front, we're going to break it down. Is there a suffix? And whoops, that flew by. Is there a suffix? What does it mean? Is there a combining vowel? What is the root and what does it mean? And is there a prefix? What does it mean? So you're going to start at the end and look for the suffix. So looking at this page, on the right-hand side, you see epigastric. Let's look for the suffix, IC. And what does it mean? It means pertaining to. Then we have, is there a combining vowel? No, not really. Is there a root word? Yes, gaster. And it means stomach. And then is there a prefix? Yes, epi, E-P-I. And what does that mean? Upon or above. So we've broken it down back to front. Now let's put it together. Pertaining to, above the stomach. And we can do the same thing with the next one. Gastroscopy. What is our suffix? Scopy. It means the process of visually examining something. We have a combining vowel, which is O, and we have a root, gaster, which means stomach. So we broke it down back to front, and now we put it together. It is the process of doing a visual examination of the stomach, or a visual examination of the stomach. Gastroenterology. Backwards again, logi is our suffix. It means process of study. O is a combining vowel. Enter means intestines. O is a combining vowel. And gaster means stomach. So it is the process of study of the intestines and stomach. Study of the stomach and intestines. And that's what I mean by breaking the terms down, back to front, and then putting it back together. Each chapter has several exercises and review sheets you can do to make sure that you're mastering the material. The directions instruct you where to locate the answers to check your work. It's a great way that as you're working through the week, you can see, am I really getting this? Why does it matter? Why does it matter that you study medical terminology and you get it right? Well, in our world, perception equals reality. How you communicate your knowledge of medical terminology matters. You need to be able to pronounce it, speak the language fluently and accurately. Spelling, you need to write it correctly. Understanding, you need to comprehend and communicate it knowledgeably. Using proper pronunciation, spelling, and understanding of medical terminology earns you respect and trust from other healthcare professionals. Using inaccurate pronunciation, spelling, and or understanding of medical terminology earns you less respect, and it could earn you mistrust from other healthcare professionals, but it can also create medical errors. And some of those medical errors can be quite severe. So you need to pay attention to the minute details. That is why spelling is so important. That is why understanding is so important. That is why pronunciation is going to be important. Flashcards. You can use index cards, small pieces of paper that you tear up to make your own flashcards. You can purchase medical terminology flashcards from the NICC bookstore, or you can get an app, that Quizlet app, for learning medical terminology for your phone, tablet, that type of thing. Evolve website activities. There is a link for access under contents and course materials. You need to make sure you complete the weekly assignments. Okay, weekly assignments, as we talked about in the syllabus review, are designed to test your knowledge in a safe environment before you take the real quiz. The weekly assignments are under quizzes because that's how they're designed, but they're really there to help you see what you know already. and what you need to study up on more. They are timed, but there is no mandated time limit, so you can take your time completing them. Grading is based on completion only. It's worth 30 points. So you may only earn 7 or 8 or 12 or 15 points when you do the weekly assignment. That's the score that you get out of Brightspace. But when I go to grade it, I move it to 30 points, which is an A, because you completed it. It's a tool for you to know what you need to study before you take the real quiz, which is graded based on score. So when we're talking about these weekly assignments, your grade is not going to be based on right or wrong answers. It's based on, did you get it done? It's a step to help you. There are 2 attempts that are offered in case you want to do one study, then take the other before you take the weekly quiz, but only 1 attempt is required for the 30 points. Make sure you review your areas of weakness. When you work through the weekly assignments in Brightspace, what did you hesitate over versus what came easily to you? What did you get wrong versus what did you get right? Was there anything that frustrated you, that you felt like you didn't know or wasn't well written or that was unclear? Was there anything that surprised you? Focus on studying those areas of weakness before you take the weekly quiz. Then you're going to complete the weekly quiz, and please make sure you study before you take it. This is a one-shot deal. When you take the weekly quiz, it's one and done. Whatever you did do in that weekly quiz is what your grade will be, and if you don't get all the questions answered, it scores the rest of those as zeros. So make sure that you are prepared for the weekly quiz, you are prepared to sit down and take it all in one session, and that you have good, strong internet capability at the time that you take it. Review your wrong answers afterward to help you remember the correct ones moving forward. And regardless of how you did, be encouraged that one more exam is behind you. Dive into whatever is next, committed to doing even better on the next quiz. So a summary, you can do this. Students have done this. It seems overwhelming at first, but again, just take it step by step, and week by week it will get easier. Your learning will be as interesting or as fun as you choose to make it. The material can be very dry, but you can make it interesting and fun as you have other people help you, as you find your learning style and you play to it. If you're a visual learner, use sight activities. If you're an auditory learner, use hearing activities. If you're a kinesthetic learner, get up and move, dance, come up with some rhymes or something that'll help you remember. Logic learners, use equations. Put together equations. I have one that I say almost all the time in every lecture, and that is you may have a prefix and you may not, but it's going to be your combining root plus your combining vowel equals your combining form, and then you may have a suffix with that. So you'll hear combining root plus combining vowel equals combining form, and you use that combining form with or without a prefix, with or without a suffix. Social learners, use interpersonal activities with classmates, friends, family, neighbors, anybody that wants to learn or help you learn, get them involved. Solitary learners, some of us are introverts and we prefer solitary ways. Use intrapersonal activities and enjoy the time without others. Get some quietness going. Maybe you prefer to do sort of a flashcards by yourself, or maybe you prefer to just read or study. However it works for you, make it work. Enjoy it. Try and make it fun. If you need help, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. So that is all I have for you on this one. I hope you really enjoy medical terminology and learn so much from it. Take care, and I'll be back to talk to you about another topic soon.